Hello, my name is Laudita Páramo, and this is my Pathways to Literacy project. It all starts with my being born a first generation Chicana, or Mexican American, and being raised to be bilingual by both my parents who came over from Mexico. Both my mom and dad were only able to finish school through the 8th grade, and they did their best to make sure their three kids could learn to read and write in English and Spanish. When my sister started going to school, she'd come home and teach me what she learned to make sure that I learned English, and we'd try to do the same for our baby brother. We used to watch shows and movies with subtitles to help us learn English and Spanish. My favorite was Wishbone. It was about a little dog that played out classic novels like Don Quixote and Ivanhoe. My dad worked as a third shift custodian, so it was hard to spend time with him and I'd have to wait up to eat. And we used to watch Tales from the Crypt together, which started on my long journey of fascination with all scary things. My mom also let me stay up to watch scary movies. And this just inspired me to read scary stories. And she also did that for me, reading scary stories to me in Spanish and teaching me to read in Spanish as well. I come from a large family of teachers, so there's always an endless supply of books, especially little golden books. Not my style, but still pretty good. They encouraged us to want to become teachers, and in pursuing that career, I loved playing school, and I was a teacher, and I'd make my sister sit and listen to me read, usually stories about scary witches that like to turn children into food and eat them. We went to Catholic schools. They had less than 250 students, so we had a small library with a very limited selection of scary things. But I was able to find Roald Dahl, who became my favorite author at that time. He had a slightly scarier writing style with witches that hated kids and giants that wanted to eat them. This is my first encounter with a movie not being as good as the book. During a scholastic book fair, I was able to pick up my very first Harry Potter book, which quickly became my favorite ever. I became incredibly obsessed, and the movies are still not as good as the books, but pretty alright. I also discovered Tolkien's The Hobbit, and became completely enamored with the way that he's able to create a completely new universe with languages, and I completely nerded out to all of that. But it was okay because the movies had come out, so nobody really noticed that I was nerding out to it. Finally, I got to high school, and it was a public school with over 3,500 kids, which meant that it would be needing a bigger library, and I was very excited for just all the books. My teachers at this time introduced me to the canon, and I fell in love with the idea of reading as a job and then sitting and just talking about it. It was amazing. My teachers also included a lot of projects and papers for us to write in our curriculum, but they encouraged me to incorporate my evolving interests. And I was ecstatic to see that one, they liked it, and two, that they wanted me to keep going, even though they were slightly put off by it. After high school, I met my boyfriend, and we accidentally, one day at the beach, started a reading club. We started with Game of Thrones, and we haven't stopped since, and I love it because it just keeps me reading for fun, and it's something that I never want to stop doing. And to this day, we keep reading, so I hope to keep that going. My latest chapter is at DePaul, where I was able to take classes with professors like Paula McQuaid, who was ridiculously enthusiastic about Shakespeare and helped me truly appreciate him and close readings. He just made classics more accessible. In the same token, Professor Johnson Gonzalez has been one of the most influential people in my life, introducing me to Afro and Latino literature. I was able to personally connect with characters that struggled with racial and cultural identities, written by authors who not only look like me but share the same internal struggles. And I've continuously found reasons to love literature, and I hope to continue on this path and continue to discover the meanings of literature and what that can do for me and my students.
created using Powtoon.